it's all free and artsy and nice, and I can do whatever I want and be totally free. But for children,
This is not an interview. There is no format. This is simply a conversation about life.
You were leaving Berlin because you were seeking more class and tradition. You said something like this.
I mean, first of all, I did not live in Berlin. I lived in Hanover,
Uh,
but I like did spend a lot of time in Berlin, and I have many friends in Berlin, and I wanted to move to Berlin actually, but it did not work out, and it
okay.
was really pretty crazy because it was already 2 years ago now. No, 1.5 years ago, where I
Mhm.
finished. I canceled my apartment. I packed everything up, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go to Berlin now. I'm ready to leave everything behind that I have in Hanover, which is like my salon, my friends, my whole life, because I broke up with my ex-husband back then, and I needed something new, like my soul was screaming for something new. And yeah, so I started my Berlin journey and went to schools and had different interviews, tried to integrate my children and stuff, but everything did not work out at all. Like
Mm.
literally at all, it did not work out at
Okay.
all.
Okay.
And the whole situation, yeah, changed so much that at the end I was like, you know what, fuck it, like I don't want to be fighting for a place to live. I don't want to be like participating in that kind of choice system where like 200 people apply for one apartment and you don't get it because you have children, because
Mm.
literally that was one of the reasons why we did not get apartments.
Oh wow.
And I was like, okay, this is wrong. It's not, this is nothing for me. Like I cannot identify with a place where children are not welcome.
Uh,
So it led me to it led me to thinking of, do I want to be in that society at all in general? And the
mm.
answer was no.
Mm.
Also, like considering I was with choosing Berlin, I guess it was a more selfish decision because I was thinking, okay, cool, it's all free and artsy and nice, and I can do whatever I want and be totally free. But for children, like to really think as, is it a good environment for children? If I compare it to other places, I had the answer no, and
Mm.
I started to look further. So it turned out to be Lisbon, and everything went very well. We were super lucky with school, with neighbors, the whole living environment. Absolutely everything is so nice and so kids friendly. So
Mhm.
I'm, yeah, very happy with the choice.
Where are you? Wait, where are you from originally?
Ukraine.
Ukraine. Okay. Um, well, where were you looking? Did you have a specific area that you were looking in Berlin?
I was looking Prenzlauer Berg, Kreuzberg. I was looking actually all over. I was not I was looking Weißensee, like a little bit out of Berlin, like calmer areas as well.
Really?
But it just wouldn't want to work.
It's strange because I was going to suggest Prenzlauer Berg because it seems like this is the area that is specifically built for children. I thought this was the area where
Mhm.
you it was like almost a requirement to have a child to live in this area. No?
Yeah, maybe that's the unwritten law. I don't know, but it did
Mm.
not work out with me at
Okay.
all. And you know what? Like I am happy because really I wanted to leave Germany for such a long time, and I was thinking, oh, becoming an expat is something so far away, and like I would need to have that stage of Berlin first and be there for a while. But then I was like, fuck it, I don't need no shit. I want to leave. I want to be in the sun. First of
Okay.
all, I want to be close to the beach, and I'm not in for that, like the society anymore. I don't
Mm.
identify with it anymore. I need
Mm.
something else. Like my soul was striving for this challenge, I guess. Also, in terms of language, a completely new environment, starting from zero, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you were talking. You mean the whole Germany, or are you talking about Berlin specifically?
I'm talking about whole Germany, but Berlin is like just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, I don't know because most people say that like Germany and Berlin are two different things. Like Berlin is its own thing.
It is its own thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it is still within Germany. And yes, you can be free in many terms, but then we get back to that question that we had again: what is freedom? How do you
Mm,
define freedom?
mm,
And first of all, like environment wise, it is
mm-hmm,
very packed and like very, I mean, the city is big, but very packed. And I
mm,
realized I needed more space and I
mm,
needed to be able to go to the beach and I need a
mm,
different climate, you
mm,
know, like if I would be real honest with myself.
mm,
And then also, yeah, this term free, like why
mm-hmm,
are many people there in Berlin? I mean, the club scene is just one example of many. Yeah, that
mm,
people from Australia, from wherever, move to Berlin because they want to go to Berghain 24/7 and they want to consume drugs freely and not be judged for it because they're
mm,
so free with that. I mean, is
mm.
that freedom? That's not freedom to me, you know.
Okay.
And so, yeah,
All right. So, what is freedom to you then?
freedom is something that comes out of your head, you're out of your mind. It's created by your thoughts, and
Mm-hmm.
it's created by right thoughts, by hygienically filtered thoughts. You know,
Okay.
like in terms
What
of
you mean by that?
you,
Oh.
you like in terms of you decide what your life is, you decide what your future is,
Mm,
and you manage that outcome by having the right thoughts, by knowing how your thoughts work and how they contribute to your life, to the
mm,
creation of your life.
mm.
That's freedom to
Interesting.
me.
Okay, and you don't think that this is going on in Berlin or Germany? All right, so you're saying these two places are synonymous, and you don't think there's
No,
freedom
you can
in?
experience it everywhere.
Hmm.
That's the thing. You can experience it everywhere, but
Mm,
still you have certain, like, people. Obviously you have certain people, you have certain nationalities, you have certain behaviors, you have certain politics, you know, that's
mhm,
something that is there and it's up to you if you want
mhm,
to live within this field
mhm,
or not. That's the freedom
mhm,
you have, but then except of that, how you create your life is like
mhm.
starts from your head, obviously. And if I
Okay.
think about my children, then obviously, yes, I can teach them the right values, I can teach them the right stuff, you know, but still the environment, I'm not sure if it correct, if it 100% resonates with me anymore like it did before.
Well, all right. So then I think this is coming back to the class and tradition thing, because I well, what I want to ask you, or no, what I want to say first, right, is it's very interesting that you're saying this because when obviously I come from the US, right? I come from the United States, and when I look at the kids here, I I I kind of feel like I always see like the young teenagers, like they seem to be well behaved to me. Like they seem like kind of calm, and they're sitting in front of this spatey, and they're drinking their little drinks in front of the spatey, and they seem like they're talking about deep things. You know what I mean? And I feel like in the US, this the kids aren't this calm. They're always like, I don't want to say always, but it seems like there's just like more trouble involved in not thinking and not doing things constructive. Like I see these kids like playing games in the park, like teenagers, and they're drinking too. Like you would think when kids and alcohol get together, it's just going to be trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to be a whole bunch of drama. Windows are going to get broken. You know what I mean? Pregnancy. This is what it seems like to me, but I don't feel like this is what's going on in Berlin. But I don't have kids, so maybe it's different for you. You're seeing it through mom eyes.
Yeah, but why do you think is it different in the US?
I think I don't know. I think the see, I don't want to say the US. I want to say Philadelphia. Let me say the city that I come
Okay.
from, and I speak about Berlin because I can't speak about the rest of Germany. All I know is Berlin, right? Um I
Hmm.
think that it's the difference in culture, and it's the difference in like the overall culture of the two cities, and what's considered like cool and acceptable behavior. Um, I think
Hmm.
that the kids here, for them, it is cool to like sit down, and it seems like they always think about politics or something, or like talking about justice and protesting and things like that. Like that's what's on their minds. You know what I mean? And and it's
Hmm.
funny because then they get a little bit older, and then it becomes about going to clubs and everything like that. But I kind of feel like that time right before you're going to clubs, they seem super calm. You know what I mean? From the outside looking in, I don't get too close to kids. I
Yeah,
don't know. This is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then there's certain areas
yeah,
where people are rowdy, but everybody is rowdy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So this is I see it really, really differently, and so this is what I mean, I don't know what it's like in Philadelphia anymore because I haven't lived there in now probably close to 20 years. So I don't know
all
what the
right.
kids are doing, but
Mhm.
I know when I was a kid, we were just getting into trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, you didn't even have to get into trouble. Trouble was just around. You know what I mean? And so you are in trouble. Like you do anything, and it is trouble because trouble is just where it is. You know what I mean? And so, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
This is so it's different. I don't know how you. But once again, you see it with the mom eyes. I think this is different. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, first of all, everybody sees it from a different perspective. That's first of all. Secondly, I grew up in Germany, and it's kind of me speaking out of the position of someone who has observed the development of school, society, children, and stuff over the past years. And
Mm-hmm.
then also, it's my own experience, like what my kids experienced in the school in Germany, in where
Mm-hmm.
I came from, Hanover. Then
Mm-hmm.
it's also me having spent a lot of time in Berlin on parties. I'm not saying parties is bad. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I love party. I'm a DJ, right? So I love
Mm-hmm.
parties.
Mm-hmm.
But what I don't like is when it gets out of hand, like when the culture, when the music, and all what we are actually there for becomes like less important, when other
Mm-hmm.
stuff becomes more important, like
Mm-hmm.
drugs and stuff. I know it will always be part of the game, and everybody can do whatever they like. It's okay. But
Right.
I just think that we have to consider, or we have to think about, why are we using these drugs? Why are we using these things in terms of parties? What are they giving us? Is it
Mm-hmm.
again that so-called freedom? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because people say, "Yeah, I'm getting lost. This is the only place where I can be, where I can forget my problems and blah blah blah." But does that solve anything, or is the
Mm-hmm.
solution maybe somewhere else? That's
Mm-hmm.
just what I'm trying to say. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, in a place like Berlin, you have it here in Lisbon as well. But Berlin is like very, very
Uh-oh. We
full
got
of people who share that mindset that it's okay,
Hold on,
to
we got a little disconnected for a sec. I didn't hear you. You said you, I missed something with Lisbon. You said something about Lisbon, and then it cut off for a second.
I said, when I spoke about the party culture and the environment and the amount of people who are going to parties and taking drugs and stuff, we have that in Lisbon as well. You have that
Hmm.
everywhere where parties and festivals are, obviously. But
Hmm.
just the density of the people who do that in Berlin is very, very high.
Mm,
And I would say, compare like Berlin and Lisbon, if we compare them, then Lisbon is definitely a little bit more conservative
mm,
and more kids friendly. I
mm,
mean, you can only judge what you have seen, like you can only
mm,
judge what you are able to compare. And that is
mm,
just the experience that I am having here, that
mm,
children are being treated completely different. They are
mm,
much, much more important,
mm,
and like alone for the fact that in Germany, I have not been given apartments because of the fact that I have kids.
mm,
That's something that is really strange to me. And
mm,
here, that was the reason why I had the apartment. That's the reason why I got the apartment.
mm.
So yeah, it's a lot of things, and it's also depending on which perspective from which perspective we look at it.